Hey guys. Hey guys, it's me, Vinny B, and I just wanted to give this brief introduction here to my new interview slash review of Assassin's Creed that I did with Charlie Q. Now, Charlie Q's face is going to be blurred throughout this video, and that's so this video doesn't get copyright striked and then demonetized because, guys, Charlie and I are not friends. He is my worst enemy. We stopped hanging out as soon as we did this review. So this video was filmed back in May, and I've been reluctant to post it this entire time just because it's been really hard to watch over the footage again. So, because of that, this video remains completely unedited. This is what I'm like unfiltered, if you guys were ever curious. Like I said, we stopped being friends as soon as this video was made. And that's because, well, we got into a fight right after the camera stopped rolling. But if you want to know what that fight was about, we start to get into it in this video. So this movie review destroyed a 10-year-long friendship. And we had a real journey together doing Mirror Brothers productions and following our dreams, but eventually all things must end. Alan, M, and I are working on Spider-Man 4, but I thought I'd give you guys some content in between, so without further ado, here is the long-lost episode of the Charlie Q and Vinny B Together review. Goodbye.
Was in. He wasn't in Assassin's Creed. I thought he was going to be in it.
No, I thought he was going to be in it too, but unfortunately they let us down with this one.
That's a little bit of a shame. But he was really good as
He
Snook.
might be in the sequel.
He was really good as Snook in Star Wars,
and he's directing Venom: Let There Be Carnage.
Yes, I cannot.
Which I cannot wait for that movie. That's another movie that, if you want to look at Charlie and I's friendship and what inspired us to become friends,
kind of like
the character of Carnage in the movie Venom.
We have a lot of big plans for Carnage in our show.
Right. If you don't know, please check out our Spider-Man movies. The link is in my bio. Anyway, let's get back to Assassin's Creed. What did you think of the plot of this movie?
I thought it was actually a pretty decent plot. It was very heartfelt, very... I don't know, it was emotionally tolling at times. Kind of tugged at my heartstrings a little bit, but that may have just been from the score. Hans Zimmer kind of pulling all the weight, maybe.
I cried mostly because of my love of the franchise.
Yeah.
And
you've played the games.
I love this franchise so much. And just seeing it brought to the big screen like that was an experience I never thought would happen.
So you played the games?
Well, I haven't gotten to play the games yet because my mom won't let me. It's still one of my favorite franchises.
I'll give you my Xbox. You can play on my house.
I'm not allowed. But I've watched plenty of YouTube videos going over the characters, and they're some of my favorites. Did you know they made a pirate one?
That one's really cool, because you can get all the costumes of the old AC favorites.
Mm-hmm. I like that you're referring to it as the AC franchise.
Yeah.
Because that makes me think that it's...
Well, it's just not as long as saying Assassin's Creed.
Right. It feels like the MCU, or something really good like that when you put it like that. The DCEU.
I gotta I don't know. My biggest issue with this movie probably has to do with it wasn't scary enough. I mean, I don't even think this movie probably wouldn't even scare like a 4-year-old. 4-year-olds wouldn't even be
I
scared.
hate to be contrarian here, but I thought the movie was actually very scary. I thought there was tons of really scary set pieces, and I really felt for Michael Fassbender.
See, I don't agree.
I think this movie had a real villain problem because if you've ever
He
seen
kind of had Marvelitis.
something like The Dark Knight
Dark
or
Knight, a great villain.
Thor, the first one.
Thor had a pretty good villain
Yeah,
too.
right. What's another movie with a really good villain? Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah,
had Ronan the Destroyer.
Ronan was really cool.
And Spider-Man 2 had Dr. Octopus, actually. And those are some of Hollywood's greatest villains. In Assassin's Creed, I couldn't even tell you who the villain was.
He's not even on that list. You know, he's not even on the list of best villains. He can't even get up there.
He's not even close. And I think part of the reason for that is because the filmmakers were too afraid to go in that direction.
Yeah, I feel like this movie needed to be really scary.
You need to take
It
chances.
needed to be scary. I mean, that's what Assassin's Creed was.
Well,
it
I
was
thought
scary.
the movie was plenty scary. That I don't think is very much.
I think
a
it should have been a little bit more scary. PG-13.
You're right. For Assassin's
Come
Creed,
on.
that's a little far. That's like making a G-rated Spider-Man movie.
It's like, come on, we need him to do something, all right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't even get blood. We don't even get swearing. Assassin's Creed has all that, and this is just not that.
Let me ask you something. What did you think of the 3D of this movie?
3D though, seeing this in 3D was probably.
Let me ask you something. What did you think of the 3D of this movie?
You know, the 3D actually kind of caught me off guard at how good it was. I was like going into it, I'm like, you know, 3D, it's a gimmick. It doesn't always look great, and you know, you kind of only get it when you can't get the standard ticket and you have to pay more. But this is a movie. Honestly, it's not worth seeing without the 3D.
Right.
Watching it in 3D, because when he dives off, for me, this isn't even a movie worth watching without the 3D. Because, like, you know, when you see him dive off that, like, balcony and he goes right to the hay bale, I was kind of like, wow, I feel like I am falling. I feel like I am doing all these insane tricks.
Right. It reminded me of the 3D that was utilized in Avengers Infinity War.
That was really
where
good, too.
there's things just coming out of the screen, and it's out of this world.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that we'd get something like this from the Assassin's Creed franchise in the year 2016, because that's also the year of the election.
Yeah, that was a big year. It was a tense year. I know for me. I don't know about you, but I was, you know, really clutching at the gums for that.
So one of the reasons that this movie wasn't rated R was because that year was really intense because it was the year of the election.
Yes, it was.
It was also the year that Ouija Origin of Evil came out.
Yeah.
And that movie really scared
I
me.
was really, you know what, I was actually really clutching at the gums for that one. I thought, you know, I was really clutching at the gums for Ouija. I thought that would be really good throwback film, but it kind of disappointed me. Was not what I wanted it to be.
This is the same year that one of my favorite movies that influenced me, Batman the Killing Joke.
Yeah, that was really good.
The cartoon. I saw that with you.
Yeah.
The other big one. This is the one that when you go back and look at 2016, a year in review, this movie you're going to see on a lot of top 10 lists.
Yeah.
Deadpool.
Deadpool was kind of like set the standard of what an R-rated movie could be.
Deadpool. Yeah.
That's a good one. That was, you know, that one kind of set the standard for what an R-rated movie could be, because like we really hadn't
And that movie came
had
out
like an R-rated movie for a while. At least one that was like good.
That movie came out at a very difficult time in my life, and it helped influence my sense of
It helped a
humor.
lot with the election.
In a
too.
lot of ways, this movie definitely
I mean,
helped.
it really helped with the election too. Deadpool.
And it helped model who I am as a person and how I develop my sense of humor.
I see that.
Right, because my friends describe, like in my friend group, we like to make pretend that we're all like certain heroes.
Yeah.
And they always tell me that I have the friendliness and courage of Spider-Man, but I actually have like a really dark, twisted sense of humor like Deadpool. So that's why that movie really worked for me. And getting to see Ryan Reynolds in any
finally do the role he's been dreaming of for years. You know,
because
he's been
I don't know
talking
if
about that for
he was
years.
actually
He was
in
him in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Right.
That's such. I actually didn't mind that movie because I liked seeing Deadpool at least. I mean, Deadpool, that version's been replaced. hands
Right.
down.
Well,
But
that's my favorite
at
movie
the time,
of
I was
2019.
like, Deadpool, he's pretty cool. I'm really glad to see him on the big screen.
One of my other favorite movies of that year was Ghostbusters: Answer the Call.
Yeah, that was
I don't know
actually
if you
kind of
saw
good.
that, but that one was pretty good.
I saw it once. I thought, yeah, that wasn't as bad as all those sexist people out there ruined that movie for everybody.
Let's not talk about sexism.